Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. So today I have a pick a card reading for our 2020 predictions. So we're going to see what does the year 2020 have in store for us. Please keep in mind this is just a general reading. This is just purely for entertainment. Honestly, you do have the power to change, no matter what comes into your life or what the cards, may talk about. Do keep in mind these are just more for entertainment purposes, and that if anything does actually resonate with you and can be somewhat negative or not necessarily the outcome that you do want it to be, please just keep in mind you do ultimately have the power to make that change. Okay. So just wanted to give that little disclaimer just in case something comes through that you may not necessarily want to hear, or you like the outcome. Just keep that in mind. Okay. But basically we have three different piles here. Okay, we have pile number 1 with citrine, we have pile number 2 with the clear quartz, and we have pile number 3 with the lapis lazuli. Okay, so please go ahead and choose which pile resonates with you the most. I put crystals on top just because I am more visual, so it really helps me whenever I watch pick a card readings. But if you're not more so visual, please just choose what you are more drawn to. Okay. Also keep in mind that if you are drawn to multiple piles, so if you are torn between pile 1 and 3, for instance, you may have messages in both piles, so you may feel free to choose both. Okay. So just wanted to get that out there just in case anybody had any questions on, kind of how they can decide on how they can choose which pile works best for them. All right. So as always, I'm going to go ahead and start with pile number 1. I will have the timestamps listed in the description box, so you guys can go ahead and skip on through to the other piles if you select pile 2 or 3. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with pile number 1. I'm going to go ahead and move our 2 other piles off to the side. And we have the citrine. We're going to place that right there. And we're going to start with your tarot cards first. All right. So we have the Page of Wands. We have the 2 of Swords. The 9 of Swords. The King of Swords in reverse. Sorry, I didn't mention the 9 of Swords is in reverse also. And we have the 10 of Wands in reverse. All right. So we've got a lot of sword energy coming through. That's definitely what I'm seeing a lot. If you notice the 3 red cards in the center, those are really what's jumping out to me the most. So it seems like for the year 2020, for those of you guys who selected pile number 1, it seems like there's going to be some action required of you to take. And what I mean by that is there's going to be possibly a situation, possible bad news at the beginning of the year. I'm seeing like with the Page of Wands in reverse. What to me that talks about is possibly just something that you weren't ready to hear or that you didn't want to hear. Perhaps there's maybe like a delay in something that you were really trying to work towards, or you were trying to manifest into, maybe trying to get like a new job, or just something that whatever it is that you've been trying to work towards, you might not necessarily get the news that you want to hear. It might either be a delay or it could be a no. Okay, so starting off the year, it may not necessarily be very favorable in that aspect, but all hope is not lost. Okay, so as I'm seeing through, it seems like we have some challenges along the way, but ultimately, you guys will be able to overcome, is what I'm seeing. Okay, so we have the 2 of Swords, and the 2 of Swords is basically talking about a situation that you guys may come across where it's causing you to, you're kind of at a standstill. Like you're not quite sure how you can move forward. You're just like, you kind of almost have a blindfold on, kind of a thing. Like even though something's just, everything else is going on around you, you can't really quite make sense of it. And you're just like, okay, do I just take a leap of faith? Perhaps, because of this situation not necessarily panning out the way that you wanted it to, moving forward and trying to find your alternative options. You're like, what do I do? I don't know, what to do. What is it the right thing to do? So it kind of just leaves you in a sense of like an uncomfortable situation. But you're just basically trying to figure out what choice you should do, moving forward. The great thing about this card, even though it does talk about that kind of like indecisiveness, is that it's basically telling you to kind of like look at the bigger picture, completely. Don't just focus on the little nitty gritty. Actually take a step back, look at the whole situation, look at all your options, and figure out, okay, since this didn't necessarily work out the way that I wanted it to, maybe I can try this, or maybe something else better, is available to me that I didn't think before. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing with the Two of Swords there. Okay, with the Nine of Swords energy, this is basically talking about, excuse me, you kind of like having that mental anguish. And I think that's due to the fact that we have, this situation that could have happened at the beginning of the year and not necessarily panning out for you being in that sense of indecisiveness. And then also having like that kind of mental anguish that it's just, really kind of getting to you, and you're, refusing to actually face, what was the cause of maybe why it didn't work out, or, why you didn't get that promotion, or maybe why, the relationship didn't work out, whatever it is, whatever the situation is that applies to you, that, occurs at the beginning of the year. And when you're just kind of going back and forth, like, why didn't this work out? What can I do different? That is what this card is representing. It's representing the emotions from this. Okay. So, everybody is going to come to that point. If we hit a point in our lives where, things just didn't work out the way that we expected them to, it's natural for us to sit there and contemplate over and over, like, why didn't this work? But ultimately taking yourself, like I said earlier, taking a step back and actually looking at the bigger picture and saying, okay, what are your other alternatives? What are your other options? I think is going to help you get through this a little bit easier. Okay. So, then we have with the King of Swords, and the King of Swords, when it is, in the reverse position, it's basically, talking about kind of just being cautious again. It's still telling you to kind of like take action, but to still be on the side of caution because of whatever you may be going through at the beginning of the year, whether it's through, let's say it has to do with a job. Okay, I'm going to use that as an example. So if you didn't get the promotion that you've been hoping for at the beginning of the year, and you're kind of just stuck and you're like, well, do I stay with this job or do I leave it? You're kind of going through like this mental anguish with the Nine of Swords in reverse. You've got the Two of Swords, just with that, like, what do I do? Do I stay? Do I go? Then you've got the King of Swords energy. And the King of Swords energy talks about you kind of keeping to yourself a little bit during this time, because there can be possibly people, negative people, gossipy people, people that maybe not have your best interest at heart, while you're going through all this anguish, that, if you're confiding in them or you're telling them like what it is that you want, be on the side of caution, because perhaps, I'm not saying for sure, but perhaps, from what this card is indicating, whoever it is that you are confiding in may not necessarily have your best intention, and they can try to go use whatever it is that you're saying against you. Okay. So please just kind of keep that in mind through the year 2020 if you are in that kind of situation. Okay. And last but not least, we have the Ten of Wands. Now, even though I know as of right now, for the most part, it's looking like, oh my gosh, great, my year 2020 isn't looking that great because I'm already dealing with a possible no with something, and I'm dealing with some sort of anguish. The Ten of Wands in reverse is basically saying that burden is lifted, that you'll have like a sense of freedom. You will eventually get to this point. So yes, you're going to kind of go through some type of hardship, but keep in mind, this is a learning process. Okay. It's meant to teach you something. And it's meant, I think, in this sense, to kind of teach you a little sense of patience here. So with the Ten of Wands in reverse, it's basically telling you like that pressure and stress or whatever it was that you were dealing with from maybe earlier in the year is finally lifted, and you're able to finally like get through, and you're no longer having to go through all of that chaos or any of that sense of burden that you were previously going through with the Page of Wands and the Nine of Swords energy. Okay, so to me, this is ultimately a positive card. Even though it is in the reverse position, this is still very hopeful. It's basically telling you your hard work has paid off. You will make a choice ultimately for yourself in a positive direction, and you'll finally be able to kind of have that moment. So that's basically what I'm seeing from this whole spread here. But let's take a look at what of your the rest of your oracle cards are that we have. So your attributes cards, we have the Martyr and we have the Guide. Okay, so the Martyr talks about learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. Okay, and then the Guide, light attribute, represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. Okay, so I think during this time, what these cards are implicating is that there might be a sense of feeling like a martyr, during this rough patch that we're going here. Kind of be careful, because like the shadow attribute of it is addiction to self-pity. So you can obviously, or possibly I should say, feel a sense of self-pity when you're going through this, like, I don't know what to do, why is this happening to me? Just, it's basically telling you to kind of be on the side of caution with that. You don't want to sink into that hole or stay in that too long. Okay, then we have the sense of the Guide, and I think with the Guide, what that's telling you, it's telling you to guide yourself into this positive light, that ultimately you will get to this point. You're not going to stay in this area forever for the whole year of 2020. You're definitely going to come out on the other side better for it, and it's definitely going to make you feel better in the end. Okay, so our next two oracle cards that we have Golden Opportunity. So it says, important doors are opening for you right now. Walk through them. Beautiful. So yes, I definitely see that at the end. And then we have Purification. It is time for a cleansing, detoxification of your body and mind. Yes, so definitely, I think after all of the stuff that's going on, in the beginning of the year, all that mental anguish, that stress, things that you might be kind of putting yourself through at the beginning of the year, let it go. You will be able to purify yourself and not allow yourself to stay in this rut, the whole year. I think you're going to go through a little bit of a rough patch, but like I said, you're definitely going to still come out on the other side. Okay. All right. Our two other cards that we have Opportunity. Beautiful. And Protection. Yes. So you guys definitely will have an opportunity, I think, this year to make a better change for yourself. And, I think the Protection card here is telling you to protect yourself along the way. Even though, whatever outcome this may come about, this negative outcome at the beginning of the year, protect yourself, protect your mental state, your health, your well-being through it all, because this can be a tough time and it can be hard, especially if you get too wrapped up into your head and your emotions during that time. Okay. All right. And our last two messages that we have, these are your angel oracle messages. And the first one is from Merlina. It says, you are confused and indecisive because you do not have enough information. do research, or seek expert advice before making a decision. Yes. So this to me is talking 100% about the Two of Swords. That is what this card represents. That indecisiveness, the not knowing what to do. Definitely, like I said, take a step back, look at the bigger picture. This, just like this card is saying, do your research or seek expert advice before making a decision on what you can do moving forward. Okay, so very good advice. And our last one is from Vanessa. To make your decision, ask yourself, which way brings me closer to my divine purpose? Which way takes me away from it? That's a really good thing to ask yourself, I think, during this time that you guys go through. If you guys happen to go through a rough patch, like I was saying in the beginning of the year or possibly mid-year, asking yourself, like, what exactly is, my divine purpose? Is this perhaps this is the reason why it didn't work out, because that wasn't my purpose. It wasn't supposed to be that way. Maybe it was supposed to be something else. Okay. So again, taking it in as far as like what the bigger picture is, and, still protecting yourself, I think, throughout this whole time, to know that you do definitely have opportunities in front of you. Your opportunity that you initially thought may just not have been the right one for you, but it seems like at the end, you definitely will come across something that is meant for you, and that will benefit you in the long run. Okay, so group number 1, I hope that resonated with you. Please let me know. I would love to hear, any feedback. Obviously we're in December still of 2019, but come, 2020, I would love to hear any feedback if any of this ever resonated with you guys. If you did select this pile, I think it's cool. Like, once the year goes on, you can definitely refer back to this and be like, yes, this did, or no, it didn't. So definitely let me know in the comment section below. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move on to our pile number 2. So I'm going to go ahead and get these guys out of the way. All right, so on to pile 2 with our clear quartz. I'm going to move the crystals over. All right. Okay, and we're going to start with your tarot cards. Okay, the first one we have is the Four of Swords. We have the Empress in reverse, the Fool card, the Five of Pentacles in reverse, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and the Ten of Pentacles. All right, so we definitely got some pentacle energy coming through. So talking about finances. Okay. So that seems to be, I would say, a common thing for you guys in the year 2020, having to look into finances. But all right, I'm going to start from the beginning and work my way down, because I'm starting to see something. So with our Four of Swords, the Four of Swords talks about you kind of at that point of like, okay, the war is over. I'm done. Now what do I do? That's basically what the Four of Swords talks about. So perhaps in the year 2019, there could have been an ending of some kind. Either you left a job, or perhaps a relationship, something of that nature ended. And it's kind of like now you're in that calm stage of like, okay, now's the time for me to get myself, in order. What do I do? Where do I go from here? But I'm just going to kind of take that mental break. Okay. So that is pretty much what this card indicates. Then we have the Empress card, and the Empress card in the reverse talks about taking time out for yourself. Okay. This card is more of I don't want to say like a warning, but basically like a suggestion of perhaps in, 2019, your focus was more on others. Perhaps, you were so focused on your coworkers, your staff, or whatever. If you were at a previous job, you were just so immersed into that job that you didn't really focus on yourself. Okay. Or if this applies to you in a relationship, maybe you just were only thinking about the other person and you forgot to think about yourself. You were putting their needs before your own. And so this is basically telling you, hey, 2020, it's all about you. This is your year. This is when you need to, restake your claim and you need to put yourself first. That is what this is indicating. Okay. Then we have the Fool card. I love this card because this basically is kind of like, yes, I am stepping out on my own. I am going to start a new adventure. I don't care which way it takes me. I'm just, going to have an open mind and go for it. That is what the Fool card to me, represents. So I love the fact that, if for whatever reason you guys did experience some sort of ending, like I said, whether it was with a job, a relationship, or anything of that nature, 2020 is about you. It's going to be all about you, finding yourself, stepping into your own and really owning it, really making this about you and, being positive, being proactive. I really, really like this card, these two cards, and the fact that they're right next to each other, I think is really great because it's really just telling you, you know what, you went through it, you went through hell and all of that, but you know what, you're coming out on the other side of it. So that is basically what I'm seeing so far. Then we have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So the Five of Pentacles talks about, financial hardships. And when it's in the reverse, it's talking about telling you to kind of, be cautious on the side of caution of getting your, finances in order. So, if you have, any sort of debt or, things that just, haven't been taken care of, you need to get those taken care of and squared away. Don't take any risks during this time, even though, yes, it's all about you and focusing on you, don't be going on no, shopping sprees and splurging and, stacking up those credit cards and all of that. It's telling you to still be on the side of caution because money can definitely be a little tricky, for the year 2020. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Okay. Then with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, this is talking about, again, your finances kind of being a little rocky. Perhaps during this time, you're a little bit dependent on others. Perhaps if you are in a relationship, maybe you're a little bit more dependent on your spouse. Or if this does apply to the fact that you did end a relationship, perhaps you did go through a divorce or, something of that nature. You perhaps in years prior, you were so dependent on your partner. And now that you're single and now that you're on your own, you're having to learn to, fend for yourself and no longer be so dependent on others. Okay. So try to learn how to regain what you've lost and, move forward. Once you realize that, it will be more beneficial for you because then we have the Ten of Pentacles, which I think is beautiful. You go from 9 to 10. Okay. 10's all about completion. This is in the upright position telling me that, everything is going to work itself out, that you finally will, be able to rein all this in. I think if you hear this message now, be cautious of your finances. You will ultimately have a sense of security. And you'll be able to, fend for yourself or for your family and be, well taken care of in the sense because you did it for yourself. If you get what I'm saying. You no longer are dependent on anybody else. You're now dependent on you because what did I say earlier? This year is about you. Okay. So that is basically what I'm saying. I think this is a beautiful message for you guys for group number 2. Loving the sense of independence here. And again, even if you are in a relationship and, I think it's still telling you too, just to, have that sense of independence. You're allowed to be independent still within a relationship. You don't have to fully be dependent on somebody else. Okay. So I definitely think that this is still an ultimately really good reading here that we got going on. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and move on to our oracle cards here that we got. We've got the Warrior card, and this talks about light attributes, your strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism. I honestly don't even know if I said that right. And self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. All right. So I love this because it's all about that warrior vibe. Again, independence, warrior, strength. That's what I'm seeing for you guys. So love that. And then we have visionary. So capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others. Willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. Okay, so yes, I definitely think you guys are going to, for the year 2020, you guys are going to be warriors. You guys are going to be visionaries. You're going to be independent. You're going to be taking things on to a whole new level for the year 2020. You know, you're going to be getting your finances in order. You're going to be doing things for yourself, no longer focusing on, you know, putting others first. You're going to put yourself first. And I think that is just such a beautiful, beautiful message that we've got going on here so far. All right, so your next two messages that we have, these are our Goddess Oracle messages. We've got fairness. This situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. Beautiful. This honestly kind of reminds me of like a Libra because she's got the scales there. Okay, so maybe some of you guys are Libras. Holla if you're a Libra, because I'm a Libra. Hey. But definitely telling me that, you know, you guys, this, you know, your situation that you guys are going to be going through this year, like I said, if it did have to do with you cutting losses from a job, a relationship, that no matter what, it's going to be handled in a fair manner. You're going to get through it and everything's going to be a-okay. All right. And then we have Athena, inner wisdom. You know what to do. Trust your inner wisdom and take appropriate action without delay. Love this. So yes, definitely trust within yourself. You are fully capable of doing whatever it is that you want. Okay, we all have that power within ourselves. So I love the fact that that came through with such positivity that we've got going on so far. All right, your other two oracle cards that we have community. Okay, and we have transformation. Oh, okay, so we've got butterflies going on here. I love this. Okay, so what I'm getting with everything that we've got so far, definitely the transformation card speaks to me in volumes. I just think of the full card with transformation, just because of the sense that I was talking about earlier. Like, you're moving forward. You don't care what the outcome is. You're just kind of optimistic that things will work out. I think of transformation when you're starting over, starting new. It's a new beginning. Okay. So definitely positive energy coming through with the transformation card. And then we've got the community card. Community to me is telling me that you guys not only will be able to get through this and obviously restake your independence, but I think just if you surround yourself with a community of like-minded people, it's just going to make things that much easier for you guys, you know, to get through and have, you know, an amazing 2020. All right, and our final two cards, these are your angel oracle cards. We have Francesca. What do you desire right now? Visualize it and it will come about. Oh my goodness. So sorry, guys. My eyes must be really tired. Negativity will block your progress. I love this. This is a really good reminder. So just keep in mind, it's trying to remind you to stay focused. So even though you're going to be going through this sense of new beginning, you know, restaking your sense of independence and all of that, still just trying to keep in mind, like, what is your goal ultimately? You know, what is it that you're desiring? You know, we've also got the visionary card that came through. So, you know, what do you desire right now? Visualize it and it will come about. So, you know, you want to be able to visualize and bring about your goals and manifest them into reality. Okay. So, but keeping in mind that negativity will block your progress. So if at any point, you know, you have that sense of negativity that comes in, keep in mind that that will delay or possibly block what it is that you're trying to manifest. Okay. And then last but not least, we have Daniel. I am the angel of marriage and I am assisting you right now. Okay, so for some of you guys, if you are if this applied to you in the sense that perhaps you were going through a divorce or yeah, that's basically what I was getting over here, that if you guys were getting, possibly went through a divorce, either currently right now or you get divorced, it becomes finalized in the beginning of 2020, and then you having to, get out on your own and start over. I like the fact that you still have the angel of marriage, because regardless if you stay with the person or not, I think what this is telling you is that no matter what, you will be okay. You will get through this. You have the support. You will be able to, find your own again. And no one says you can't ever get married again. Just because one relationship didn't work out doesn't mean you aren't capable of, finding love again. And I think with being able to do this and go through, this sense of independence and restaking what it is that you want and all of that, I think the year 2020 will bring you nothing but abundance and greatness for you guys. So definitely let me know, group 2, if this resonated with you, or if you guys are excited about what this reading had. I definitely loved all of the cards that came through with this. This was just such a strong, beautiful message for you guys that selected this pile. So well wishes to you guys, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to our last but not least pile number 3. Go ahead and get these guys out of the way. All right. And our last pile with the lapis lazuli. I'm just going to put that right there. All right, and we are going to start with your oracle cards. All right, so we have, I believe this is the Tower. So forgive me, I'm using my Goddess Tarot cards. Yeah, they're called the Goddess Tarot. So I believe this is the Tower in reverse. I have a little booklet with me, so I'm trying to make sure that I am on track. We've got the Judgment card, the Death card in reverse, the King of Cups in reverse, 10 of Cups in reverse, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. All right. So, sorry, I keep moving my camera, guys. It keeps moving. All right. So, we have the Tower in reverse. So, right off the bat, with the Tower being in the reverse position, this is talking about, you putting off, or not you putting off, excuse me, but you possibly going through a situation that can be overwhelming, for sure. Basically, anytime the Tower card comes up, a lot of people always get like really nervous because it usually talks about like destruction. It's full of, kind of not so great energy. But this is basically kind of like a chance for us to look inside ourselves and see like what it is that we're doing. It's kind of like a self-destructive card, so to speak. So when it's in the reverse position, it's talking about perhaps you're going through or you're refusing to change old habits, old patterns, and you're kind of going through the same thing. It's like you're doing the same thing over, but expecting different results, if that makes sense. Okay. So I'll give an example. Perhaps you guys are trying to lose weight. Okay. Or you're trying to, get back on, with your health. You should be eating right. You should be working out, but you keep eating fast food or you keep eating poorly. And obviously You're defeating the purpose. You're not going to lose weight. You're not going to get any healthier because you keep putting bad things into your body and not doing what you know you should be doing. Okay, that's basically what the tower in reverse is indicating. Okay, so this is telling you to just basically take a look inside yourself and figure out, like, why is it that you're resisting? You're you know what you should be doing, but you're resisting it, you're fighting it. So why is it that you're doing that? So and I think this is perfect that this is right at the beginning of the spread, because I think of New Year's resolutions. Every it's a common New Year's resolution for people to try and lose weight. Always is. I used to say that one all the time too. I'd be like, oh yeah, this year I'm gonna get on my fitness journey. I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna lose this much, blah, blah, blah. I would do it for like a week and then I would be done because I was like, no, I'm too busy, or I made up some type of excuse. Okay. So that could be something that talks, or that is, that can come up for you guys, especially like if you guys are all about those resolutions, if you're, perhaps you are trying to lose weight and that is something that comes up a lot for you. Keep that in mind on like why it is that you are, in a sense, holding yourself back, and actually make the conscious change, actually do the opposite and actually do it. Instead of not doing it anymore, just do it. Okay, so that is what the oh my goodness, sorry, I just went blank. That's what the Tower card in reverse is indicating. Okay, then we have the Judgment card. So the Judgment card is basically telling you that you're kind of at this new point. It's kind of like that wake-up call. And I like the fact that it's right next to the Tower, because I think the Judgment in this case is talking about you. It's almost like your inner judgment, your inner conflict within yourself. Okay, so I think at this point it's telling you to really evaluate yourself. Like I said earlier, take that deep look, figure out, why is it that why am I hurting myself? Why am I feeding myself these bad foods? Or why am I not getting myself healthy, especially if maybe health risks are coming into play? Have that sense of inner dialogue and pass that judgment within yourself, so then that way you can take the necessary steps you need to move forward. Okay, because then we have the Death card in reverse. The Death card talks about transformation. It talks about new beginnings, starting over, letting go of the past or old habits and ways that no longer serve us, right? That's what that indicates. But when it's in the reverse position, it's talking about that you're putting those changes off, that there's some sort of sense of fear that you have, that you're like, no, I know I should, but I still don't want to. So I just see that the beginning of the year for you guys, this is definitely going to kind of be like that inner conflict. Now, this doesn't have to necessarily be about your health. Okay, I know I was using that as an example, like with the weight, weight loss and things of that nature. But this can be in reference to an addiction, maybe smoking or drinking, or even, drugs for some of you. So if at any point, you feel that what you're doing to your body or what you're doing to yourself is not good for you, it's wrong, but you're doing it anyway. I think this year in 2020, it's going to be a real sense of self-reflection and figuring out what it is, like the why, and really allow yourself to let go of the fear, so that way you can move forward and do what you've been wanting to do this whole time. Okay, so that's definitely what I'm seeing for you guys at the beginning. I would say beginning in mid-month or mid-year, with the changes here in the beginning. Like we have the Tower, like I said, in reverse. We've got Judgment and the Death card. You have major arcana cards here. So I think that's definitely going to take the forefront of what you guys are feeling or what you guys are going through during this time. Okay. So then we have the King of Cups in reverse. So with the King of Cups, it's usually indicating some type of phase in your life that you might be trying to get away from. This, again, I'm kind of thinking with this, with everything that's going on, I'm thinking that this has to deal with you trying to get away from your old, habits. Whatever negative energy that is not working for you, you're trying to get away from it. The King of Cups, though, or with the Cups cards, Cups usually talks more about like our emotions and love and things of that nature. So this could also indicate a possible toxic relationship. Okay. So I know, like I said earlier, I was talking about your health and things of that nature, but if you are in a toxic relationship that you shouldn't be in, that maybe this person doesn't treat you that great, they don't say the nicest things to you, maybe they cheat on you, maybe they're just not a nice person, and yet you can't get away from them, or yet you can't leave them because you love them. I think this is really telling you to just, have that sense of self reflection and know that, you do and can get past this and that you can get out. Okay. Excuse me. It's telling you that you are capable of letting go, and that, you're obviously, you'll be fine once you get past it, because then we have the 10 of Cups in reverse. The 10 of Cups, when it's in the upright position, it's beautiful. It's obviously sunshine and rainbows, like literally, that's exactly what it is. But when it's in the reverse position, it's basically saying that, like, you would be that much happier if you actually did what you were supposed to do. That. But there's still that sense of either fear, or you feel like there's like challenges or an obstacle still somewhat in your way, from fully achieving this. But honestly, I think when it comes to everything has been said here, I think the ultimate obstacle is yourself not allowing you to move forward. So I think once you can get past you will be capable of achieving this, and this will be more so in the upright position for you. Okay. So definitely keep that in mind. And also, the reason why I know this will definitely work out for you guys is because we have the Wheel of Fortune card. Okay. The Wheel of Fortune card talks about good fortune and good things to come. Okay. It means that you did something, that maybe you did end the relationship. Maybe you got out. Maybe you finally started eating right. Maybe you are actually going to the gym, or you're taking your health more serious. Okay. So this is just talking about like you actually did it and things are working out for you. So I definitely see in the beginning of the year is going to be a bit of a struggle. It's that internal struggle within yourself. You guys know what you should be doing, but you're still fighting it. But ultimately, no, you are capable and you will achieve it. Okay. So definitely know that good things are to come for you guys in the year 2020. All right. Okay. So we're going to move on to your oracle cards that we have. We have two here. We've got the Alchemist and the Victim. So the Alchemist talks about transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. So it's all about, transforming and manifesting things into reality. This card is also known kind of like as the Wizard card. So like, again, I think of the Magician when I see this card. So all about like manifestation, that what you put out into the universe, you will receive back. So if you're putting out positivity, you will receive positivity. If you're putting out negativity, you'll receive negativity. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing with that. Oh, and then we have the Victim card. Okay. Light attribute prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. Okay. The shadow attribute, the negative attribute, the reason why I want to read this is because playing the victim for positive feedback in the form of pity, inability to maintain personal boundaries. The reason why I felt compelled to read both here is because I feel like this card comes up as a warning. And I say that because based off of everything that I've seen already with the tarot cards that have been laid out, talking about kind of like that inner struggle that you're facing, whether it's health wise, whether it's a relationship, um, whatever it is, whatever you know that you are in that is toxic for you, but you are hesitant to do anything about it, we can easily fall into that victim mentality. Okay. Oftentimes we do it without realizing it. And I think that's why this card came about when I was, doing the shuffling for the spread. I think there's a strong reason why this card came out is because it's a warning and letting you know, don't get sucked into that mentality. Don't allow yourself to be a victim. You're not a victim. You are, if anything, you are fully capable of getting through this and taking charge of your own situation, of your own life, okay? For your health, your relationships, your mental state, all of it. You are in charge of that, okay? So don't allow yourself to be a victim or to kind of have that victim-like mentality, okay? Because if anything, if out of all of this, I would hope that having the Wheel of Fortune card would give you a sense of prosperity and realize, like, you know what? I know I think this way sometimes, but I know good things will come if I just take that leap of faith. Okay. All right. So our next two cards that we have are our Goddess Oracle cards. And we have Mary Magdalene, Unconditional Love. Love yourself, others, in every situation, no matter what the outward appearances may be. Lovely. I love this because, yes, definitely love yourself, love others. Oftentimes we tend to not, if we're focusing so much on the negative and we're having like that internal struggle, we tend to forget that. So I think this is a beautiful reminder for sure. Leap of faith. Look at that. I just said that, just having like a sense of leap of faith. So I love that this was in here. Take a risk and put your heart's true desire into action. Yes, seriously. If you take that risk, you will achieve what it is that you want and you will have good fortune with that. So definitely take that risk, guys. All right. We have two other oracle cards. Oh, look, we have happiness and relaxation. Yes. So see, if you guys definitely let go of this negative energy that's all up here, you will have happiness and you'll be able to relax. You won't no longer have to worry about the stress and negativity. You will ultimately achieve happiness. I love this, you guys. So this is definitely turning out to be a beautiful year for you. Okay. And our last two cards that we have, these are our angel oracle messages for you guys. We have two. The first one is from Omega. Victory. Your desire is coming to fruition. Keep up the good work. Okay. I don't know how much more positive I think this is definitely turning out to be for you guys. If at any point you had any sense of doubt, I hope by seeing these cards, the happiness, the Wheel of Fortune, the Leap of Faith, the relaxation, the Omega card, unconditional love, I'm hoping that you guys are seeing that this is ultimately going to be a very positive year for you guys, okay? And then last but not least, we have Layla. Spend time alone in nature, meditating about your desires and intentions. Ask the angels to help you gain a positive perspective. Okay, this is beautiful too, because I think that if you guys are able to, kind of just take that sense of relaxation during this time, get out of your head, that you have been kind of in for so long, whether it is about your health, whether it's about your relationship, whatever it may be, whatever toxic thing has been plaguing your mind. I think if you take that sense of, meditation, that sense of relaxation, that leap of faith, you guys will ultimately achieve a greater sense of self and you will be happier overall. Okay. So I love the messages that came through for you guys in group number 3. It definitely seems like you do have some challenges for sure, I think, in the beginning of the year. But if you persevere and you push through to get through them, you're going to have a beautiful outcome and you will be that much more happier at the end of 2020. So I hope this resonated with you guys. I hope you guys really liked this reading. Please let me know in the comment section below if you enjoyed this or what other future readings you guys would like to see me do. I would love to hear any feedback to definitely help know which direction to take my channel in. So please let me know down below, and yeah, I would just love to hear from you guys. All right, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, night, day, wherever you may be. And yes, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.